you're going to want to pick up The Lost Ruins of Arnak. I am so excited to show you this game. I have a prototype version of it. This is not a full version, so I'm not going to give you my official buy it, play it, hate it rating. But because they sent us a prototype ahead of the release of this game, I wanted to get this video out so that when it comes time for you to pre-order or pick this up at your local game store, you'll know whether or not this is something that you want to buy. And hopefully in the future, we'll circle back around and do a full review on this game. Now, this is a deck builder mixed with a worker placement game that is super tight, meaning you're not going to be able to do a ton of stuff. You're not going to have this huge deck of cards, but it's going to be really small. And as the game goes along, the dice or the deck building mixed with the worker placement also almost turns into like this engine building thing, because at the beginning of this game, it's going to feel like you can't do very much. But by the end, you're doing all these free actions, your one main action, you're drawing cards, you're playing cards. There's a whole lot of stuff that you can do in this game, and I truly enjoyed it. Now, the theme of this game is that you have discovered this new island called Arnac, and all of these archaeologists have raced to the island, landed on this island, and now you are trying to make your way through this island and discover all the cool stuff. This game is divided into basically three different sections. There is the worker placement portion of the board where you will go to these locations and you will get items. You are also going to be discovering locations on the board. And then you have a research track where you will be using these resources that you kind of gather to go up this research track. And if you make it all the way to the stone temple, then you could go in here and keep researching and scoring victory points that way. And then of course you have the deck building aspect of the game. In typical deck building fashion, you have to pay resources to get cards that go into your deck. They have two different kinds of cards. They have artifacts that you can use right away, or they have tools that you will put at the bottom of your deck. Then what else happens in the game? Another way that you can score victory points is by going down this research track. And as you do, if you're the first person to make it to a location, you're going to get one of these bonuses. And as you go to each location, there are bonuses that you're going to get, but you have to play this back and forth. They have these two tokens. They have a research magnifying glass or a book. And the researching magnifying glass always has to be ahead of the book. And they tell you the easy way to remember that is that you always research and then you write about it. And so it's a neat idea how you have to play this seesaw teetering thing of getting things to go back and forth. And depending on what makes it into the new level changes what you get. So if you make it to this level and you are using your book, you're going to get an assistant. Assistants are a very cool feature in the game that every single round you get to use their ability. You kind of tap it and use that ability, and then at the beginning of the next round you untap it. So this is kind of another feature that, like I said, is an engine building aspect, because as the game starts, I'm just doing one action on my turn, playing out my cards, but as the game progresses, now I'm doing my main action, I'm using my assistants, I'm doing my free actions, all of that stuff. The main mechanism of the game is that you get to do one thing on your turn, and that is you could either buy a card, you can explore a location, you can use a location, you can research. Those are the main actions that you get to do. Or the free actions that you get to do are cards that you play in your hand that have the lightning bolt. And basically I just say, I'm going to use this as a free action, and I get a compass, and you add a compass to your stash. The other thing that you could use the cards for, multi-use cards, is that at the top of the card they have a travel icon. Different locations on the board further in take you more travel actions to do. So there are boots, there's like a jeep or a buggy thing, there's a boat, and then there is airplanes. And airplanes allow you to go anywhere in the game, and you can actually buy one of those for 2 coins and basically get wherever you need to go. I really, really like this game. Here's the main reasons why. I'm sorry if I'm rambling, but I'm just kind of talking. The main reasons that I like this game is it's very accessible, but it doesn't feel too simple. I have a number of games on the shelf that there's a lot going on, and in order for me to get this game to the table, especially with new people, I would have to do a lot of explanation, a lot of difficult things. So let's wade through this. Be patient with me. We'll get there. This one, huge table presence, looks awesome, lots of fun things to do, but with some simple explanation on their turn, they're off and going. And you get that instant fun reward of being able to do all these things on your turn. I got a free action, but I'm going to play this and this and this, and then I got my main action. It's a fun, rewarding experience that is not that complicated to understand. And so because of that, I think this is going to hit the table a lot. It is gorgeous. It looks cool. It has a lot of theme that comes through in the game as you're going to these locations, fighting these things, building your deck, using your tools. There's a lot that's going on in this game. Super thematic, and I love it. It even has a solo version of the game, which I've played through and I really enjoy, where basically you have these cards that represent the actions of your opponents, and they will do 10 actions on their turn. They're going to do a whole bunch of stuff, and that could be exploring locations, defeating guardians, blocking locations for you, all of that stuff, and it plays really well. And they've even incorporated a way to change the difficulty. So you add in more green, it's easier. You add in more red, it's harder. Mix it up, change it up, make it interesting and challenging for you as the solo player. When this comes out, order it. Whatever you got to do, go pick this up. If you see it on the shelf, go by and grab it. Highly recommend it. This is one of my favorite games of 2020, and I hope that you get to enjoy it. It's called The Lost Ruins of Arnac.